How is everybody doing today? And in this video, we are going to be talking about something that I usually don't cover on the channel because I usually just cover the Star Rail stuff. But today, I do want to talk about, in a more broader sense, the gacha industry in the whole, with Wuthering Waves coming out, which I am super excited for, and especially because Wuthering Waves is actually about to hit their final pre-registration reward, which is 30 million pre-registrations for the final rewards that we're supposed to get for this. And this is overall really exciting that a game like this is able to get this amount of pre-registrations, because when you think about it, especially with what we know as of right now, because I know a lot of y'all are Star Rail fans from, of course, subbing to the channel. When they were in their moment of about to release, they were at the 10 million mark, probably around 13 million, possibly even 15 million if we got to that point, because as you may know, this tweet was made on the 15th of April and Star Rail came out on the 26th. So there's not that much time left before it was time to go ahead and release the game. So they probably had the 15 mil range, the 10 mil range when it came to how many pre-registrations they have. And of course, with how you see Star Rail at the current moment, if you weren't there for day one, this game had a very bad, and I mean very, very bad negative stigma towards it before it came out, because a lot of people were like, why in the world would we want to play a turn-based gacha game? Not fun, not interactive, not cool. This is definitely not a game I'm never going to play. And then you fast forward to when it ended up releasing, and you see that, well, as soon as Star Rail came out, they hit number 5. And ever since then, 1, 2, 1. Like, they just killed the charts way past what anyone expected, and now it's the phenomenon that it is right now, with it being one of Hoyoverse's most beloved games at the current moment, with it being so not perfect, I just want to say so good towards his fan base when it comes to the rewards we get every patch, to the updates we get every patch, to the quality of life, the characters, the meta changing every so often. The game is being handled very well, which is a super good thing, and now it is the fan favorite for a lot of different players that are in the gacha space at the current moment. But as you may know, like I said before, this game did not have a great positive stigma towards it when we ended up going to the release of the game, and now it's what it is at the current moment. But now the fact that you see that there are 10 million pre-registrations for Star Rail as we know it right now, it being as big as it is, well, now you see Wuthering Waves. And also you see Zenless Zone Zero. I do have to bring out Zenless Zone Zero really quickly as well. Zenless having 35 mil. These are actually some crazy numbers for these two to be having, especially considering the success of both Genshin and Star Rail, with as many people that were excited for it on day one. Seems like a lot of people are more excited, or probably more people are brought into the gacha space being excited for both Wuthering Waves and Zenless with Genshin and Star Rail's release. Which, of course, the main topic of this video, which I can't believe it's been all the way now until I started basically prefacing it, is that the fact that Kuro Games is coming out with Wuthering Waves means a benefit and a big plus to every player, not only for Wuthering Waves, but also for all the games in the Hoyoverse sphere, specifically more like Genshin Impact, ZZZ, and I wouldn't kind of consider Star Rail in that group, only because I feel like Star Rail is in its own genre with how it's not as time intensive to play, and not only that, it's also a side game for the most part. You really wouldn't have it as your main game unless you don't want to play multiple gachas. It's usually just a game you throw on auto, you do something else while it's happening, and that's pretty much it. This is kind of targeting a different demographic with Genshin and with Zenless Zone Zero that's also not out at the current moment. And with something like Wuthering Waves, if it were to succeed the way I would love it to, this is going to bring a whole different shift to the gacha space, because we have a, let's say, a competitor where they're hitting the same amount of numbers as Genshin and Star Rail. Well, that points to Hoyoverse. This is a problem, and this is not a problem for the players, because the players are going to be happy. They're going to have Wuthering Waves. They're also going to have Genshin and Zenless Zone Zero. Like I said, those are the two demographics that they're probably going to be targeting the hardest when it comes to players looking at Wuthering. They're like, oh no, we gotta do something about that. So that means for players that do like Genshin and do like Zenless Zone Zero, when it ends up coming out, they're gonna be getting content faster. They're gonna be getting updates with more quality of life in it, with characters that exceed expectations. And this is going to be what they have to do unless they want their players to be transferred over to Wuthering, which for something like Hoyoverse is not their ideal situation. Hoyo has always been the type of company, or has always been the type of game developer that they want you to try out all their games for the most part. You have Genshin Impact as your introductory, or Star Rail. Star Rail is a turn-based game. Genshin Impact is your open world game. Honkai Impact 3rd is your instance-based combat mode, and then same for Zenless Zone Zero. I think they're really trying to replace that Honkai Impact, I guess you say, role when it comes to the genre of games that they're trying to develop and make a widespan version of it. They're definitely trying to get you to the point where you're eventually trying out all of these games at once, and they definitely got me. I'm a big fan of Honkai Impact 3rd, super big fan of Honkai Star Rail, and I've stopped playing Genshin for a very long time just because it's gone to the point where they haven't really done much for the game to be able to keep somebody on it besides new character releases. And personally for me, I'm a big end game guy. That's why I like Honkai Impact 3rd. That's why I like Honkai Star Rail. And especially with the promise that Wuthering Waves is having with having harder combat, with having these bosses that scale up depending on how many times you beat them and stuff like that. And also the expressive combat that we all are excited for the most part. Really good things for the gacha industry, because at the end of the day, with Wuthering Waves coming out eventually, we're going to see that a lot of people are going to be looking at it. A lot of people are going to be hyping it up. When we do see what type of numbers are going to be throwing out, this could signal to Hoyo, yo, it's time to start throwing out some crazy stuff in Genshin, some crazy stuff in Zenless Zone Zero before it comes out. Because if not, Wuthering just took those people that were interested and converted them into Kuro fans. So for the most part, this is a good thing. No matter how you see it, whether you are excited for Wuthering Waves or you aren't, this is just going to overall be a big benefit. If you really only like Genshin, if you really want to go for Zenless Zone Zero, you want Wuthering Waves to succeed. Because at the end of the day, they're going to be fighting against each other. And if they fight against each other, well, guess what? They're going to try to outdo each other every single patch. You did this patch? Well, we did that plus this. And that's going to be the exciting thing for players and the big benefit to everybody if this were to happen and Wuthering Waves were to succeed. And they're definitely doing a good job at making sure they get to that point where they're absolutely killing it with the advertisement. Because I know that was another gripe, which was, oh, they're not advertising. Well, now they're doing kind of the same role plan they did with Star Rail, with having Times Square lit up with the I think this was Times Square. Yeah, this is Times Square. Times Square lit up with all Wuthering Waves ads. We also have them doing drip marketing the same way Star Rail and Genshin do it, with them showing off Jian, which is our #1 character coming out for Wuthering Waves, and then Yinlin, which a lot of other people are excited for as well. And they're doing the same formula, showing off not only streams for the 1.0 patch that we got earlier back then, but also looking at the Resonator showcases, which are the character demos that are in the same form or fashion, the way they do it with Star Rail, the same way they do it with Genshin Impact, with a really good thing in all. They're basically doing the, if it's not broken, no, there's no need to fix it. You don't need to change anything. Just go ahead and do the same thing, because at the end of the day, it works. It makes it so that it works. You're showing off your character. You're showing off how the art style of the game is. You're showing off how these characters are in combat, making it look cool, cool music, all the different type of stuff. And it's overall just generating a bunch of hype for what we already know, seeing that there's 30 million people ready for Wuthering Waves. And I cannot wait to eventually cover the game. I have zero idea if it's going to be on this channel or the other channel I made. And if it's not on this channel, let me know if you are excited for Wuthering Waves. Let me know if you want to see content on Wuthering Waves, because I would love to be able to cover it on this channel if it were possible. If not, because YouTube is YouTube, I do have a second channel. If it were to not be fitted on this one, then go ahead and sub to REHOO V2, and also sub here as well for Star Rail content, eventually Zenless content, and maybe even Wuthering. I have zero idea. We'll have to figure that out. But other than that, that's pretty much it for this video. There's not really much else to talk about when it comes to having Wuthering Waves come out. It's a really good thing for the gacha space, and also a game I would 100% say to at least try, because at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with trying to play this game and give it a second of your time to be able to see if you like this game or not. If not, then that's okay. You tried it out. But if it is, well, you just found a new game to play, which is going to be super fun, which I personally, since I did play the beta, the combat in that game feels so nice. It feels really, really good. I can't wait to talk about it more when we get closer to the game, and also whenever they start doing anything else, like cool announcements, a stream or anything like that. I also will be streaming at twitch.tv/REHOO the day of its release for sure, 100%. And we also have a schedule somewhere in the community post, somewhere in my Twitter, where we now have a schedule for streaming. So if you want to come by a stream, I'm going to be basically streaming every day except Wednesday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. EST. I think that might be the time. I might forget. I'm bad with memory. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll wait to the end of the video. See y'all guys in the next one, and peace.